So I just finished watching a great women's college basketball game. Now I know for a fact that I know the Super Bowl on that all that coverage is going on, but I have to talk about my women's basketball. And we had a top five matchup in today's Sunday where we had the South Carolina Gamecocks coming in as 10-0 in the SEC against the 10-1 Texas Longhorns. Then the first time they met, South Carolina was able to beat them, and Madison Booker didn't play well. She only had 7 points in that game. But overall, I think this was a better game for the Texas Longhorns. They was able to get the win over South Carolina 66-62. Now, this is the first loss in the SEC in a long time for the South Carolina Gamecocks, knowing they are number 2 coming in. And they will play number 5 UConn next Sunday, so you don't want to miss that recap at all. Let's talk about the box score. Let's talk about the team stats going into this game. Now, when it comes to this game here, if you look at all 4 quarters, right, South Carolina was kind of outscored majority of the game. In the first quarter, it was 18-16, where Texas beat them by 2 in the first quarter. Then outscored them 18-11 in the second quarter. Going into the half, it was like 36-27 at the half for the Texas Longhorns. Now, South Carolina was able to come back in that third quarter and win the quarter 22-13, and they lost the fourth quarter 17-13. So they got outplayed 3 of the 4 quarters, in my opinion. But let's talk about this game, because a lot of their top 5 for the South Carolina Gamecocks, none of them was in double figures. None of the top 5 starters was in double figures. You look at Chloe Pitts. She had 9 points. Serena Fegan had 7 points. Bree Hall only had 7 points. Raven Johnson only had 1 point, and she struggled. She was 0 for 5 from the field. She didn't play well today. And Tahina Pow didn't play well either. She was 2 of 9 from the field, and she only had 8 points. You had Joyce Edwards come off the bench with 9, and then the highest that you had was Malaysia Fulwale. Malaysia Fulwale had 13 off the bench. I'm not surprised she's not even starting for the Gamecocks, but that's another story for another time. But she was the only one in double figures with 13 points. Now, overall, they did shoot 21 of 57 from the field, which was 36.8% for the Gamecocks, for the Lady Gamecocks, I'm sorry. But they only shot 5 of 19 from the three-point line. That's only 26%. If you're not making shots, you're not going to beat this Texas team. And they were very good defensively in that first half, while they was able to struggle to shoot the 3. Now, they did have 35 rebounds. They did have 11 assists. They did have 2 steals, and they did have 2 blocks. And they had 10 turnovers, but 20 personal fouls. It definitely took the Lady Longhorns to the foul line majority of the time. But let's look at the Texas Longhorns. Now, the Texas Lady Longhorns here, they wanted to get their clap back at South Carolina after losing the first game. But Madison Booker, this girl is a dog. She had 20 points and 11 boards. She had a double-double. She didn't shoot well. She was 7 of 22 from the field, but she did have 3 assists and 2 steals. So this was a totally different game from the first game that they played compared to the second game that they just ended today and ended up winning the game. You had Taylor Jones with 11. You had number 22, I cannot pronounce her name. I think it's Min Tawana. I'm not going to say it. I'm sorry if I did it wrong. She had 8 points. Rory Hammond had 4, and Shay Holly had 4. Then you had Justice Carlton come off the bench. And you had Kayla. I'm not going to pronounce her name. I'm not going to butcher her name. But she did have 13 points, and she did have 6 rebounds for the Texas Longhorns. But here's my thing about it. They shot the 3-point shot only 4 times in this game. And it was all 0 for 4 for the Texas Longhorns. They was 44.1% from the field, which is 26 of 59. And then it was 14 of 21 from the free throw line. But Texas had 42 rebounds, so they out-rebounded South Carolina in that situation with 11 assists, 9 steals, 3 blocks, 13 turnovers, 18 personal fouls, but he was able to get the win when it mattered. When it comes to the South Carolina Gamecocks, they just didn't play well, but especially shooting the 3. When you have Fulwale come off the bench and the only player in double figures out of your starting 5, that's going to be a problem. The fact that this game was close when nobody else was in double figures but her was kind of shocking to me. But hey, South Carolina know how to get back in the game and make the game close. But let me know what y'all think about this game. How do y'all feel about South Carolina going into the game versus UConn next Sunday? And how do you feel about Texas now giving South Carolina their first loss of the SEC conference? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. It's Darian Talking Hoops, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.